Hello and welcome to my channel. Tonight it is some fun facts, and this one's a little bit weird. The picture, which I will have put in somewhere in the screen, is some guy with a spanner and a screwdriver. So I was going to try some tool facts. We'll see how we go. I'm not sure there's fun facts to be had about tools around the shed. Anyway, a version of the game Rock, Paper, Scissors was originally called Knife, Fork, Spoon. Don't know. Rock came before cutlery, but anyway. The plural of scissors is still scissors. Scissors and shears need to be professionally sharpened to keep them in top working order. They also need to be oiled at the pivot point. Most modern scissors have plastic handles, but rubber may be added to improve grip and comfort. Cast metal scissors, similar to those we use today, were first produced in 1761. If the pivot of the scissors is closer to the blade end and further from the handles, the cutting power of the scissors is greater. Okay. Most scissors are actually made to work best for people who are right-handed. Special reverse scissors for left-handed users are available. Modern cutting pliers cannot be sharpened. High-quality, heavy-duty lineman pliers can not only cut copper cable, but also staples and small nails, bolts, and machine screws. The small indented area in the front half of the nose of New England-style pliers is for removing the burr at the end of a piece of cut conduit. Scissors have a world of superstition attached to them. It's considered very bad luck to drop scissors, especially if they stick in the floor, especially if your foot is in between the floor and air. Anyway, leave scissors with the blades open. Have scissors come apart during use. We actually have a pair of scissors that are designed to come apart during use. Well, not quite, but they come apart. Give and receive scissors as a gift. The same superstition applies to give and receive knives. A small compensation must be given to counteract this. Open and close scissors during a wedding. The groom will become impotent. That's an African superstition. Well, there goes the cutting of the ribbon kind of jargons. Use scissors on New Year's Day. Why then? Break both blades. Disaster impending. Oh, tell that to the people who steal cars with scissors. Additionally, when both tips of scissors stick, a wedding will follow. If only one point sticks, a funeral is to come. Stick in where? Hang on. Oh dear, drink. Never attempt to retrieve scissors you have dropped yourself unless you stomp on them first. And then break your scissors, which is going to give you bad luck. Put scissors away during a thunderstorm. Okay, because the lightning is going to come into your home. Put scissors under a pillow of a labouring woman will cut the childbirthing pain in half. Here's a trick for all you youngsters out there. A pair of scissors could be nailed open above a door to protect the home from witchcraft. Okay, that was from vampiretools.com. I don't know if that last one was for real or what. Now, I looked up another site and I've just basically clicked to open. So, tools are things to make tasks easier. They have changed over time, and that's not a fun fact whatsoever. So, let's get rid of that. Now, some fun shed facts I've gone and looked up because there wasn't many tool facts. Here are some fun facts about sheds. With statistics taken from Cuprinol's 2016 Shed Economics Survey. Cuprinol, I think, is a paint or varnish or other solvent kind of company. Possibly in, yes, and this would be in the UK. It's a UK site. Over 21 million people in the UK now own a shed. 62% of people would be deterred from buying a home if it didn't have a shed or even a big enough shed. More younger Brits are now investing in sheds, with more under 25 now owning a shed, 63%, compared to 60% of 45 to 54-year-olds. 11% of men admitting to planning a surprise for their partner in their shed, including holidays and proposals. 32% of shed owners admit their shed is so messy they can barely get through the door. The average shed contents are worth over £458 sterling. 3% of sheds have a sunbed. Really? There's no sun in the UK, so okay, they get it maybe twice a year, maybe 3 times, once more than Ireland. And the sheds in the UK are traditionally small, so you could arm span across the width of them. They're like 6 foot wide and, I don't know, 8 foot deep. They're tiny, tiny things. 7% of sheds have a TV. Go figure. The most famous piece of garden shed art was created by sculptor Cornelia Parker when in 1991 she blew up a shed and used shrapnel to create her piece, Cold Dark Matter, an Exploded View. In ancient Egypt there was a god named Shed who was a god of danger, deadly animals and illness. Okay. Rudyard Kipling, Agatha Christie and Roald Dahl all wrote in their sheds. A shed Benjamin Britten owned is now a Grade 2 listed building. I don't know who he is. In Slavic folklore, the shed is feared as it is believed to be the home of Baba Yaga, a witch-like character who flies around in a giant pestle kidnapping children. The word shed has the same origin as shade. In Anglo-Saxon it means a skeed, which was a place of rest in a shady place. Former Prime Minister David Cameron has bought a shed with the intention of using it to write his memoirs. It's probably a bit fancier than most sheds though. In jazz jargon, shedding is to diligently practice a musical instrument. It is a derivative of the slang word woodshed, perhaps derived from the notion that an isolated woodshed is fit for practicing. Okay, that's some shed facts. Oh, these are quite similar. In 1914, during the First World War, a handle post for the army, the post office erected a wooden structure in Regent's Park. It was described as the world's largest shed. Nearly 60% of Brits have a shed. 17% have said they would like to live in theirs. 1/3 of British men believe that their shed has a positive impact on their relationship. Colin Gray wrote a best-selling book called 50 Shades of Grey. No, hang on. I'll go back and start that again. Hang on. Colin Gray wrote a best-selling book called 50 Shades of Grey. A story about a man who is torn between his wife's sexual adventurism and his desire to spend time in his shed. Oh, Lord. Probably came out after the 50 Shades, but anyway. In 1994, a 17-year-old American boy was arrested for trying to build a nuclear reactor in his parents' shed. He wanted to earn his Boy Scout merit badge and considered it an appropriate way to do so. God bless his cotton socks. In 1994, no, I've read that one. In the King James Bible, reference to the word shed almost always refers to blood bring shed. In Shakespeare's plays, the word most often refers to tears being shed. Oh, that's a bit of a loose analogy. 9% of sheds are a hiding place for people's junk food. 8% have cigarettes. In jazz terminology, to woodshed or to shed means to cut ones off in the world of practice. 20% of Brits admit to using their sheds as a hiding place from their families and partners. Those who work from a shed have an official title, sheddy. If it doesn't quench your thirst, the top 10 most unusual items found in garden sheds. Ashes of a dead relative. Human skeleton. Camel's head. Wisdom teeth. Okay. Excuse me. Old breast implants. Tattoo gun. Photographs on an ex-partner. Badger's head. A gravestone. And a stuffed alligator. Some of these people need to be certified to their sheds. If you think you're a shed devotee, okay. Oh, he was the Egyptian god. It's a bit more information on the Egyptian god. He was worshipped at home rather than at temples or in official ceremonies. We'd like to think Shed was worshipped in a shed. We don't know for sure if that's true. Yeah. Commonly known as the Saviour, Shed was a protective god called upon those in need who wished to shelter from danger, sickness, or misfortune. According to Walton's Great British Shed Survey, 96.5% of you said your shed makes you happy, and more than 1,600 respondents, almost half, said they'd rather spend time in the shed than do anything in the house, with 28% saying they preferred it to the pub. For many, sheds make a perfect hideaway. 22% of you admitted to escaping from the partner and kids. 25% would consider using sheds for secrets like booze, junk food, cigarettes, or receipts from a shopping spree. Some sheddies would like to admit they use it to conceal an affair, a place to hide love letters, or make secret phone calls. And 60% of the people we surveyed would rather be in their shed than visiting their in-laws. Sheds inspire art. My sister moved into a gazebo. I don't know if that counts. They're a source of inspiration. They inspired tongue-in-cheek titles like The Ladybird Book of the Shed and the mock-erotic 50 Shades of Grey. New shed guide books like 101 Things to Do in a Shed or The Joys of Sheds prove our fascination with garden buildings is a continuing trend. There is a worldwide shed. Okay. From the world of art to the world of computers, sheddies are a very high-tech bunch. Online there are approximately 11.6 million web pages containing the phrase garden shed, including a Walton's blog, of course. Each month in the UK, around 74,000 people search the internet using the terms garden shed. The result reveals a plethora of information, everything from decorating your shed to genius tips for organising your shed or transforming it into a man cave, gym, art studio, or even a kid's playroom. Warning, radioactive shelf. Okay. Oh yes, American Boy Scout David Hahn famously attempted to build a nuclear breeder reactor in his mother's garden shed, all in the name of winning his atomic energy badge. Oh God. Right, so it was actually a scout badge. Hahn's plan was discovered by accident when he was stopped by police for another matter. It took 10 months for teams to complete the cleanup resulting from David's foray into nuclear physics. While there have been no reports of nuclear reactors in British back gardens, the top 10 of unexpected items found in the shed. Yes, we've already touched on that. How many people can you fit in a shed? This is how small they are, okay? We're sure that at some point all sheddies have asked themselves how many people it's possible to fit in a garden shed. Well, here at Walton's we like to do the hard work for you. To that end, we went out one lunchtime to see how many people we could fit into a garden shed. The answer, you can fit 10 people into a 6x4 garden shed. 6x4 foot shed. So you're talking about your arm span from side to side and just a little bit longer. And that is a typical garden shed in the UK. They're made of wood, pine usually, and yeah, not very big. They pretty much hold your lawnmower and all the junk that you just lob in there on top of the lawnmower. The world's biggest shed, or at least the biggest up to that point, was built in Regent's Park during World War I for the mailing. It was built in December 1914 and covered 5 acres with 2,500 employees inside. At its peak, it processed 12 million letters and 1 million parcels each week. That's incredible. And then there's more about sheddies, and there's one more site that may have something that may be a bit different. The winner of the 2014 Shed of the Year award will be announced in August. Last year's winner was an Alex Holland, the 2013 winner from McKinleth in Wales. I think I've pronounced that wrong because there's 2 L's in it, and that's usually a cl. Anyway, the word shed is the same origin as shade. 9% have unhealthy food hidden in them. These are all the same stats from the same wonderful world of sheds. So there's some shed facts, there's some tool facts. I could probably get specific and see, are there any weird facts on saws or axes, or I know it's like my husband's saying that he would like to see the difference between sheds from different countries. Well, space is a premium, I know, in Ireland and the UK. So sheds are tiny because the backyards are tiny. Sheds over in Australia, you can probably fit a few cars in. They're, 4-car sheds or 6-car sheds. They're actually described in car capacity. I think my husband's dad actually has a shed that is well, he has 6 cars in it, but then the space out the back as well, so you could probably fit probably 10 cars in it, to be honest. Yeah, and then you've got people will convert these sheds, which are actually tin sheds, not wooden sheds. So they'll convert these tin sheds into homes, or they'll convert them into pool rooms with the couch and the fridge and the bar and the TV and, you know, the escape from the whole missus thing and the kids. And yeah, they become man sheds, or man caves is the latest term. But yeah, they were a far cry from the old English shed that I would have grown up with, or the Irish shed that I would have grown up with. Yeah, my husband said sheds are for people who don't have garages. I had a garage when I was a kid, growing up, so we didn't have a shed. And then when I had my first married home, I had a shed because we didn't have a garage. And then I had a 4-car garage when I moved to Tasmania, and now we have an underhouse storage area. And no, we do have a shed. There is a shed out the back. It's a tin shed that the cats lived in when we first moved in. So yeah, those sheds are a little bit different, the metal sheds. They're the thin corrugated walls as opposed to the pine walls that you might get otherwise. So there you go. We have the dot-to-dot with his nibs with the screwdriver and spanner, which is an insult in Ireland, or it's a compliment depending on your ilk and your friends. You might be called a spanner, and that means that you're an idiot. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Look, take care of yourselves. I hope you've enjoyed some slightly interesting facts about sheds and the UK and everything else, which is the shed capital of the world, really. The English and their potting sheds. They do some nice gardening stuff with these old blokes out in their sheds, and probably get up to all sorts of mischief too. Alright, look after yourselves, and I will see you around on another Frivolous Friday. Bye for now. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.